As a whole, the open world genre boasts plenty of memorable locations, but some are a lot more unforgettable than others. As one might expect, it tends to be the best looking open world games that live the longest in the memory of players, teasing and tempting them to dive back in and explore a little more long after the credits have finished rolling. Given the depth of their design, most players are more than happy to oblige. It's worth noting that most beautiful open world settings don't always adhere to the industry's tried and tested formula. Some do still strive for realism, but others drop the player into a fantasy world that feels more befitting of a fairy tale than a video game. The results can be equally impressive either way though, as evidenced by the huge variety found throughout some of the best looking open world video games. What's up guys, this is Casey from Game Rant, and these are the 10 best looking open world games ever made. At number 10, we've got Elden Ring. Few games benefit from the mystery of their surroundings quite as much as Elden Ring. It's this mystery and the sense of adventure that it's able to invoke that encourages players to explore the lands between so thoroughly. An otherwise daunting task, given that danger and death loom large in every corner, just waiting to jump out of the shadows and ruin the player's day. Together with the game's captivating lore and challenging gameplay, this ever-present threat of danger and how at odds it can sometimes be with the game's beautiful setting makes Elden Ring a lot more memorable for players. With the Erd Tree looming large over their position, they'll never forget where they are or why they're there, thus helping them to remain focused on their daunting mission as they soak in the splendor of their surroundings. At number 9, we've got Marvel's Spider-Man 2. The Big Apple may have its fair share of problems, but there's a reason why it's one of the most popular tourist destinations on the planet. The city's skyline is littered with iconic buildings, while its streets are swarming with colorful characters and countless opportunities for adventure. Marvel's Spider-Man did a fantastic job of recreating the city digitally in 2018, and its 2023 sequel builds upon this to great effect. With digital tourism becoming increasingly popular, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is a great game for exploring the city that never sleeps, as the attention to detail that went into making the game is meticulous to say the least. Even for those who have already been there, swinging through the streets allows players to see the city from a whole new perspective, while also providing players with plenty of opportunities to marvel at how true to life everything is. At number 8, we've got Batman Arkham Knight. The Batman Arkham series is best known for its excellent gameplay and tight combat mechanics, the latter of which have helped to inspire countless other action-adventure games over the years. However, each one of the Rocksteady Studios titles is also beautiful in its own right, with Batman Arkham Knight being the pick of the bunch when it comes to visuals. The game does an excellent job of capturing the gritty tone that helped to make Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy so successful and boasts one of the best digital renditions of Gotham in video game history. The game's weather effects also deserve a special mention, with the city looking particularly stunning whenever the heavens decide to open. At number 7, we've got Cyberpunk 2077. Beautiful probably isn't the first word that springs to mind when one thinks of Night City, but that's not to say that Cyberpunk 2077's sprawling megalopolis is completely bereft of charm. It depicts a different type of beauty, the kind that's often found in truth, even when the nature of that truth is flawed or downright ugly. Whichever way one slices it though, the warts and all nature of Night City can be mesmerizing at times, providing players with a living, breathing world in which it can be very easy to get lost, both literally and figuratively. It's dangerous for sure, but that arguably makes exploring all of its nooks and crannies all the more rewarding. At number 6, we've got Death Stranding. Death Stranding is a masterclass in minimalism and a reminder of the beauty that can be found when one takes a moment to stop and really take stock of one's surroundings. Although cold and uninviting, the rugged terrain that players are forced to traverse can also offer a strange sense of serenity, allowing for many moments of introspection. This isolation can at times be liberating, but it can also smother the player if they allow themselves to get frustrated. It also sets the stage for the game's social strand system perfectly, with small and random acts of kindness from others reminding players that, though it may not always seem like it, they are never truly alone. At number 5, we've got The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Much like its predecessor, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom serves as living proof that raw processing power isn't always needed to make a great game. Instead, it's the creative vision of the game's developers that allows the Kingdom of Hyrule to really shine, with players provided with all of the ingredients needed for a truly amazing adventure. Rather than striving for realism, the games use a cel-shaded art style and a vibrant color palette, the latter of which is in stark contrast to the muted grays and dusty browns found in so many of their peers. This break from reality also allows for the inclusion of many fantasy-themed elements, which can at times make Hyrule feel more like a fairy tale kingdom than a typical open-world setting. At number 4, we've got The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. There were a lot of games that received next-gen updates following the releases of the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, but few benefited from the makeover quite as much as The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. To be clear, the 2015 title has always looked great, but the inclusion of higher resolution textures and ray tracing support brought it to a whole other level. Its open world may be sparsely populated, but that arguably works in the game's favor. Players can take in some truly stunning sights as they ride Roach from A to B and will encounter plenty of reasons to stop off along the way. It's really one of the best looking open world games to date and really helped to cement CD Projekt Red's place as one of the genre's heaviest hitters. At number 3, we've got Red Dead Redemption 2. Having helped to popularize and define the open-world genre back in the early 2000s, Rockstar Games continues to raise the bar with each new release. The care and attention that went into crafting the world of Red Dead Redemption 2 is really quite astounding and has allowed the game to age incredibly gracefully in the half of a decade or so following its release. Despite having first hit store shelves back in late 2018, the game still looks better than most modern AAA titles, and its world remains every bit as enjoyable to explore as a result. It's easily one of the best looking open world games ever made and a must play for fans of fun to explore settings or just open world sandbox games in general. At number 2, we've got Horizon Forbidden West. Most of the best post-apocalyptic games tend to depict a world that is almost completely bereft of life, with both nature and humanity having mostly succumbed to whatever world-ending event has taken place therein. The Horizon games opt for a somewhat different approach though, instead taking place in a vibrant and effervescent world that nature has begun to reclaim for its own. The way that the planet's flora and fauna have overrun the ruins of civilization tells a story of its own and makes it easy for players to envisage and understand the planet's gradual decay since the fall of the old ones. Thanks to the Decima engine, the visuals in both games are truly breathtaking, with Horizon Forbidden West offering a much larger and more varied setting for players to explore. And taking our spot at number 1 goes to Tsushima. When it comes to the best looking open worlds in gaming, the one found in Ghost of Tsushima is very difficult to top. The vibrant colors that decorate the titular island's flower fields are in stark contrast to the scars left by the war that's ravaged it. Yet, there's a strange and delicate balance between the two, and in that balance, real beauty. Then there are the areas on the island that have somehow escaped the invading Mongol hordes. Granted, these may be few and far between, one of them so utterly rewarding. They allow players to enjoy a brief moment of tranquility and respite before the bloodshed resumes and serve as a poignant reminder of what both they and Jin are fighting for. And there you have it, folks, the 10 best looking open world games ever made. We at Game Rant hope that you enjoy the content that we put out and hope to catch you in the next video. Take care for now.